you can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
This is our only first time.
We know that it's a serialized show.
Did you ever play the video game Mass Effect?
Okay, Tolkien, chill
Putting
out.
some little breadcrumbs.
Jean Pray de Chuckle Nugget. This is where Babylon
Question.
5 is becoming Babylon 5.
We have the most incredible community out there.
Feels like we're going to continue to go down this rabbit hole.
I was right.
Just trying to put the pieces together.
I was right.
I'm the king, baby.
What? Are you kidding me? Here I go back to Dune, as I often
We're officially into it, Jeff. 100%
So good.
It was so completely accurate.
That was great. I love that.
Definitive ranking. I can keep watching the show.
I love it so much.
The year is 2025. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. My name is Brent Allen.
And my name is Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters, and then we watched Babylon 5 for the first time, and everything changed. So now we're watching this incredible series for the second time because Babylon 5 is the only show that you get to watch for the first time twice.
And along with that, we are still searching for sci-fi messages that we find within the show. Sometimes it's just ones that we pull out. Sometimes it's ones that the creator himself, JMS, inserted into the show. Now, that being said, Jeff and I have seen this show before. We've already completed our first watch, which means from this point forward, Jeff and I have free reign and fair game. I feel like that should be the name of a song, Jeff. Free reign and fair game. Free reign and fair game. To talk about anything from any point in the timeline, in canon, out of canon, anything goes. It's all fair game. So if you have never watched Babylon 5 for the first time for yourself, please stop this episode right now. This is your last spoiler warning. Stop it right now. Go back and catch our first watch. Do a watch along with us. And then when you have completed your run, catch back up with us, because as Jeff said just a moment ago, this is the only show that we know of anyway where you can watch it for the first time twice.
For this week, we're watching Passing Through Gethsemane. Now, for me, this episode was like, I don't know, the greatest thing ever. I loved every bit of it. If I remember right, I'm just like, there's this. I love that. This character's incredible. We're talking about one of my favorite subjects, justice versus vengeance. We're talking about forgiveness. I get to be a nerd in my Catholicism and everything, which back then I wore a shirt that had like all the different crosses from the different rites of Catholicism, said celebrate diversity. Today, I've got my Catholic established 33 AD jersey shirt on because I don't get to wear this outside of Sundays very often.
Was it really 33 AD?
That's a good question. There's a lot of questions as to where that really was.
I mean, I think I can say with fairly good confidence it was probably more like 26 to 29 AD.
Right.
But
it
whatever.
started a little bit. Technically, well, actually, it didn't start till after he was resurrected. So
All right. Well,
there's
Catholic
that.
explain it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there you
Still
go.
26 to 29 AD.
Yeah, probably, maybe. Time's a weird thing, right? But yeah, I adored this episode. Do you remember what you thought about this one on the first watch?
I thought this was a great episode, a fantastic episode. Not one. It was one that was very unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
While I don't, and I think this held up. I don't think this is a game-changing, world-breaking episode. Like if you pare the 22 episodes of this season down to the 10 that you need to run the story, this one's getting cut.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I also, my feeling coming out of this was this episode, and I think this episode colored the rest of the show for us, maybe at least the rest of the season, because it certainly seemed to set the tone for where we were going and what was going to happen. And I don't know that I can fully explain why. What I'm curious about, and this is the question I have in my mind, you and I both have a fairly strong religious background, Jeff. Were we so drawn to this episode because of that, because of what we brought to the episode ourselves? Or was this episode really that important? Because ultimately, we never really talk about Brother Edward again. Brother Theo shows up in like one more episode after this. Like the impact of this episode does not seem to reverberate through the rest of the series. And I can't even remember any major great character moments out of this episode that really like spend time developing characters like we've had in the last couple of episodes. So I'm really curious. That being said, as a piece of 45 minutes television, great episode. Would love to watch this one every single time. Not a knee slapper by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But it's also not Schindler's List, where great episode, only ever need to see it once. It's not that either. I can watch this episode again.
Well, Brent, I listened to our for the first time recording on this one. Would you like to know what you actually thought?
What did I actually think?
Well, he said there's really not a lot to latch onto in this one. It's pretty preachy and feels like a filler episode.
Yeah.
He said once you get below the surface and you see what it really is, there's quite a bit more. But ultimately, you really appreciated the questions that it asked and kind of what the situations that it posed for us. But on balance, you're like, yeah, I think under the surface, it's great. On top of it, not a great TV episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I really feel like it was a good 45 minutes of TV now, thinking back to it.
Right?
But I kind of see everything else that I would have said there. Like kind of on the surface up here, it's whatever. But I think there's a lot more underneath it. Interesting. That's what I remember out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me,
what else did we say?
For me, I freaking love this episode.
Of course you did.
My favorite thing was that it explored justice versus vengeance and forgiveness, kind of what I remembered as well. But throughout the episode, I had to keep saying, to own my bias, like I am a Catholic and this is where I'm coming from. And in fact, when we got to the end and we did our ratings for things, I had to be like, look, if I was just watching this myself and not doing this for a podcast, this would be X. But I'm going to own my bias. I'm going to be a professional here. And so instead, it's going to be Y. So it's a professional here. We get Lita and Kosh in this episode.
Lita comes back?
Lita comes back.
Okay.
And we had a lot that we thought about this. Specifically, there's a soul, like we felt like it's like he's sucking her soul out of her or whatever, like this weird moment. And so we had quite a long discussion around what does that possibly mean. My theory was that that was the way that Vorlon reproduce, and that either Kosh was going to be a Vorlon baby daddy sort of a thing, or the mommy. We didn't know how it worked. You were just really upset that we got Lita and not evil Talia.
Yeah. I really wanted evil Talia back, man.
One of your biggest fears as we go into this for the second time viewing is that you're going to make a Stargate reference in our first time viewing that will ruin the show for me. Now that we're watching it. And this is one that you made a reference in this one that didn't ruin it for me.
I was to say, you're not sure what I was talking about?
Right. And you did such a great job. Let me see if I got the quote here. You said, I don't want to bring up names or too much detail for future's sake, but there are these aliens that like assume the role of gods and they feed off the worship of the people that they have around them. And so that was your theory around what was happening with Lita and Kosh.
Wait, say that one more time.
That there's these aliens that kind of assume the role of gods and feed off the worship of the people that they're over.
Okay.
Yeah, you did great.
Okay.
Because I said something like, I think I made a comment along the lines.
Because you assume that I'm talking about the Gould there.
Now, yes.
In Stargate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
My comment during the episode was, so kind of like Zeus. And you were like, yeah, Zeus. That's it. That's what it is. So nice job on that. We wanted to add our Marcus count, or add to our Marcus count and count the number, or I'm sorry, we didn't want to add to it. We wanted to change our Marcus count into the number of times Franklin was not inappropriate with a patient.
Okay.
We decided Lita in this episode would be patient number 1.
Okay.
Let's see. We get the scene where brother Edward is talking to Delenn and Lanier about the Minbari faith. And you really felt that this was JMS kind of working through his personal beliefs.
I am very excited to get to. Will you please remind me of that when we get to that scene?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I would love to. I want to watch it through this lens, especially in light of something that JMS himself personally says. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Go ahead.
Stand by. We'll be right back. Are you ready to take your Babylon 5 for the first time experience to the next level? With our exclusive Patreon, you'll get access to all kinds of cool stuff that you can only find there. Our recording notes, unedited reaction videos, an exclusive Discord community. And you can even be listed as a producer of the show. Plus, we even offer exclusive meet and greets and hangouts. You won't find this kind of experience anywhere else. Get all these amazing benefits, plus the opportunity to interact with other fans from around the world. It's being part of a huge community where everyone shares the same appreciation for Babylon 5. Subscribe at patreon.com/Babylon5First. That's the number 5 and the word first to get access to these incredible benefits. That's patreon.com/Babylon5First. We can't wait to see you there. I hit again that Sinclair was going to become Valen. Delenn kind of shuts Lanier up at one point when he starts talking about Valen, like, don't do it. And so I went on like, because it's Sinclair?
Ixnay on the Elenve.
Right, not here, not now. You had a pretty profound theory, and it's one that came true. We never celebrated this one, but it's kind of a big deal. You said your theory is that we will never see Brother Edward again. Brent hitting the deep cuts on this one.
I was true -1.
Right?
We get him. I think we get him one more time, like
Brother
in
Theo.
episode 17.
Yeah, we get Brother Theo one more time, and the Rock cried out.
Right. But, you said Edward.
Yeah, Edward.
Oh, yeah, because it's Brad Dorf or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He never comes back.
He did.
Yeah, he never comes back once he's gone.
No.
Unless he's playing a doll.
Which was pretty cool the way he pieced that together. I mean, it's just masterful.
Yeah. Right.
So impressed. We actually talked a lot about, like, what is the point of this episode in the Babylon 5 canon? Like, what are we doing? We already touched on the death of personality stuff before. These are characters that aren't going to be around a lot. Like, we weren't really sure what it was about. And we agreed that the point was to highlight the concept of forgiveness. And we guessed that because that's going to be a common theme throughout the rest of the series.
Certainly following Londo's storyline.
Yeah.
Like we took a long circuitous route to get route to get there. But yeah.
We got super theological in this one. There's a lot of quoting scripture, going into discussion around Catholic traditions, dogma, things like that. But ultimately, I mean, you can go listen to the episode if you want to dive into it. But the crux of everything we talked about was the concept of faith or the concept of forgiveness through the Christian faith. And we acknowledged that that's where we're coming from, right? That's our expertise. We know it's not ubiquitous. There are other views of it with other faiths. I shared a really, really difficult story. Timing. We've talked about timing a couple times, and we watched this episode, and I had just recently lost a good friend who was murdered.
Yeah.
And I was there when her family forgave the murderer. And so I shared that story. It was very apropos to what we watched. And the last note I've got is you asked a fantastic question that I think is the question to explore. We Brother Malcolm, right, is the guy at the end after the mind wipe, the guy who kills Edward and then gets mind wiped. Your question was simply, was the vengeance worth it to him? Like, between the time of killing him and being mind wiped, did it make anything better for him? That's what we talked about. You've mentioned it a couple times. I'm excited to hear what you found because you scoured the internet. You read things, probably listened to some things, watched some things, really dug deep, got your magnifying glass out, sleuthing around the internet to find things that Joe Michael Straczynski himself has said about this episode. What did you gather for us?
Yeah. So, we know that Joe had a fairly well-respected career prior to starting Babylon 5.
Yeah.
One of those things was Twilight Zone, if I remember correctly. He did the new Twilight Zone prior to doing Babylon 5. Is that right?
Yep.
I believe that's true.
Yep.
Well, he said, this is my Twilight Zone story for Babylon 5.
Oh, okay.
That's how he described it. That's how he thought of it. It's got some very strong emotional twists as we go along. This was originally supposed to be the 5th episode of the season, with Voices of Authority, next week's episode, slated to be the 4th, but visual effects on voices was too much, so they flip-flopped them, which a big piece of it. I don't know if there was a break between this episode and the next, like a planned break, but he's like, Voices is a Wham episode, he says.
Okay.
So if they wanted to end on the Wham episode, but they couldn't get it ready in time, so they had to flip-flop them. This episode also almost never happened. I found the story rather interesting.
Okay.
All right. There's two versions of how this goes. I'm going to try to sort of meld the two stories together to make sure I'm getting the details correct. Okay.
Okay.
There was someone, he does not mention who did not consider what he was saying. It was no fault of his own. It just happened. It was not whatever. And he said, in essence, what if somebody on Babylon 5 found out that they had been mind wiped and had been used and used to be something awful in a previous life? Mm-hmm. What if somebody found that out? Well, I already had Passing Through Gethsemane on the wire at that time for season 2. But I saw him say that, and I had to scuttle the story, because in the writer's world, if anybody says anything even close to what you're talking about, you can't do it. You can't say, "Oh, here's the script. You take it. You have it for free. Just do it. Just go." I understand the legalities of things. I do feel like in our society and their thing, it's just taken too seriously.
Yeah.
I also, by the way, feel the same thing about jokes in comedy, and this is speaking as somebody who used to be in comedy. Listen, people have similar ideas all the time. Mm-hmm. The rule in comedy is whoever gets it to TV first wins. They own it, right? But people have similar ideas all the time.
Yeah.
And just because you're working on something and somebody else mentions something, that should not mean that you have to scuttle your ideas.
Yeah.
I think that's completely asinine.
Armageddon, Deep Impact, right? All those things that happen.
Yep. Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine.
Right.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all just, it's poop and crap. That's Brent's personal theory, but JMS had to scuttle the story. It laid there untouched for over a year. He was working on it for early season 2.
Oh, really?
He was very chagrined over what happened. Finally, he could meet the person. Now, I don't know if this was a person online or if this was a person in the crew or what. Finally, he got to meet the person and got them to sign a release, notarized, explaining the situation, indicating what had happened. I take that back. He does say it was a fan.
Okay, it was a fan.
If that fan had not been fair and reasonable, and had not said it's okay to do this, like it's not my idea, it's his idea. Like if they hadn't, like he had to get a notarized note saying that. After a year, he said if that had not happened, this episode, which many consider to be one of our best, which I love that he says that. Many consider this to be one of our best, because I do. There's something that happens between initially watching an episode and then thinking about it.
Yeah.
You think about all the people that yell at us about having an opinion on something. It's like, dude, we're taking a snapshot of this particular moment in time. I myself changed my mind about that same moment in time, and I haven't gone back to it yet.
And they've been sitting on it for 20 years. Like,
right. So it's okay. But regardless, many people consider this to be one of our best. If he had not been so reasonable to do that,
I would have killed him.
They would have never made this episode.
Wow.
Would have never seen the light of day. Yeah.
That's really, it's interesting.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question if the other monks are also mind wiped, not just Brother Edward.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fair question. That's a good con question, right? That is a good con question. No, the other brothers are not mind wiped. They're legit with wherever they are.
One could ask if any person in a clergy position has been mind wiped.
Now, that being said, how do mind wipes work? Not what are the mechanics of how do you make it happen, but what is actually going on within things happen. What happens with this new personality? Where does it come from? Somebody asked that question. JMS provides his answer.
Good question.
Would you like to know?
I would, yes.
There are templates that are used. Some variations. In a government monitored situation, which this one was not, because they thought he was dead, right? Mind wipes are kept in the people who are mind wiped are kept in servile positions. They are not allowed to achieve, because then that would be some sort of a reward. It's not like they get a mind wipe and like, here, go serve your community and go.
Yeah.
Make something. And no. You are kept cleaning up trash on the side of the road.
That's what you do.
That's what you do for the rest of your life. That is your punishment, just with a changed brain about it. It's like he says, those guys you see long picking up trash on the side of the road, those guys in bright orange, things, those are mind wipes. In society, then, mind wipe people are no longer actually considered people.
Oh, wow.
They're not even considered people at that point.
Wow.
This is really not much that different, he said. Again, this could go back to the message side, than the way we view prison inmates today.
Yeah.
Who are given numbers, they have no civil rights, and they're treated like cattle. Mm-hmm. And he notes, many of them deserve it. A few deserve worse, and a few deserve better.
And I would go as far as to say even it's how we treat people when they're outside of the prison system. Mm-hmm. We kind of brand them the rest of their lives as less than a real person.
But I thought that was real interesting. You don't even consider them to be a person anymore.
It's like you basically turn them into an NPC, right? Like that's one of the things the kids are saying, oh, you're such an NPC. But like they really are. Just like, go do that thing. Maybe give a quest out from here or there, but you're not going to do anything cool.
Somebody asked if the Minbari have more than one religion, if they're a mono-religion society or not.
These are good questions.
And he said, nope, they're one religion. The warrior caste tends to follow it, but they don't lead it. But they still maintain those beliefs. On the name of the episode, Jeff, passing through Gethsemane. Let's talk about this. Let's have the theological conversation.
Okay.
Why this title? We now know what it's about.
Yeah.
Did we talk about it at all in the first run? Why this title? What does it mean?
Because
where does it come from?
Edward literally has his Gethsemane moment and we talked about this last week. I think you brought this up where it was, take this, please take this from me. If you're not, that's fine, but please don't make me do this. I'm also totally willing to do this.
Yeah.
It's the total trial of faith, really.
JMS says, Jesus Christ was a person who had to sacrifice himself to atone for the sins of others, right?
That's what they say, yeah.
Edward, specifically Brother Edward, not the other guy, parallels Jesus Christ because he sacrifices himself
to atone for
the sins of another, in this case, his other.
Charles.
His own other. Charles, there you go. Charles. And that is the idea. Although, Jeff, he doesn't say this, but it goes back to what you had said last week that this episode would kind of be about. Wait, was that last week? Did you talk about, Jeff, last week, not necessarily being about Jesus, but about the people around watching this happen? Was that you?
I don't think that was last week. It wasn't me. I think we've actually had that conversation before, but not last week.
Maybe. So, Jeff, here's the thing. Last week I listened to the episode and I got to the thing. Our discussion of what this episode possibly could be was rather lengthy. And when I texted you your prediction, because you didn't listen to it, I just gave you what you came up with by the end. Okay. I could be wrong. I believe we had this conversation. Somebody had this conversation somewhere. I'm trying to see if I have it down here. Yeah, I think it says, somebody had the idea of, what if this is not passing through Gethsemane, like going through the trial that Jesus went through, but what if this was our Babylon 5 crew watching somebody else? Like if you're literally like, you're in the Garden of Gethsemane, you're passing by and there's Jesus over there doing his thing. You're passing through Gethsemane while that's happening. In many ways, this is our Babylon 5 crew watching Brother Edward go through this thing. Like that's exactly what this winds up being.
Yeah.
I think that was what you had mentioned last week.
It's very possible because I feel like we've talked about that in the past.
Yeah. So anyway, I like that. I certainly like that. All right. One more thing and everything else we kind of got to talk about later.
Okay.
JMS gives one caveat to this episode overall. He says it's been commented and complimented on that he would expose a belief system in his show, specifically meaning Christianity here, right? Catholicism. He would do that in his show of a belief system that he doesn't personally agree with, because JMS is an avowed atheist, right? And you and I think, had lots of conversations about that. Like, can you really be an atheist and go through this and write this sort of stuff? Like, what's the deal here? He said people commented that he could be this tolerant, or the idea that he could be this tolerant is apparently something that is really praiseworthy. JMS says, I would just suggest that at some point, when and if I should offer a viewpoint from another perspective, one that I may not personally agree with, that same tolerance be given, since the virtue of tolerating divergent attitudes has already been deemed praiseworthy. And this is something you ever strive for. Basically, he's like, yeah, so you're praising me for doing this with this one thing. In the future, when I do it for something different, please remember this, and just remember you're praising my tolerance level of this, not that I'm getting your particular person thing right.
We talked about that back in Divided Loyalties, because he was like, it's funny because people are like, you're so great, you're so tolerant, and then I'd hint at a same-sex relationship, and oh man, they're like, how could you? What's wrong with you? It's like, well, I'm just over here being tolerant that you praised me for.
Yeah. All right. So everything else, Jeff, I've got to talk about during the episode. So why don't we go watch an episode?
Let's watch it. And that's exactly what's going to happen right now, folks. We're going to bring up the episode. We're going to watch it right here in real time with you. We're going to stop. We're going to talk about things. We might hit message conversations. We may just react to stuff that we see during the episode itself. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see the edited version of that all cut up and everything. If you want to see the full and the unedited version of that, you can head to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/badnerds.
And if you're listening to us on an audio app of some sort, maybe you're just listening to the YouTube version, maybe you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, maybe you're on Audible, Good Pods, what else are we on? Podbean,
Castbox, all the
Castbox,
things.
all of those things, Podcast Addict. You're listening to us. We don't want to leave you guys left out. So you guys are also going to get that conversation that happens mid-show, and you'll get the post conversation that happens after, because we're not going to necessarily rehash everything we talk about in the middle of the show. Right. So stick around with us. Make sure you guys listen to all of that. You might even hear some of the episode being played. So, Jeff, let's go watch an episode.
Let's go.
Accessing file.
It's very Karate Kid sounding open.
It's a great shot, though.
He's been through much worse.
I think he's doomed.
Not a chance.
Care to put money on that?
Gambling is one of the lesser sins. I've always thought that if you're gonna sin, you may as well go for one of the really big ones.
Dude, Edward's
don't mind.
flirting hardcore right there.
I'm trying to concentrate.
Sorry.
Concentrate all you want. There's nowhere you can go.
Two guys
I'd
playing
expect
chess
a
in the
comment
park.
like that from someone with no
great.
clearly defined pattern of faith.
I believe in a little of everything.
Check. And I do believe...
Mate?
Ivanova, go.
Ambassador Kosh is about to come out of hyperspace. He wants you to meet him in Bay 13.
You want to tell me where you learned that little move?
Divine inspiration. Oh, and speaking of divine
That's a great
inspiration,
gift.
Edward.
Right?
Edward, show the captain what you show me.
Right? Paul's it's so right. There's no nukes in chess. He doesn't get it.
This is beautiful.
I keep telling him he should sell them. Work of this quality could fetch quite a price.
Joy is first in the making and then in the giving. I'm doubly blessed.
There's some fun conversation in the chat there. Stuart's like, he doesn't know how to write chest. He doesn't know how to write chess, which is why you actually never see the board, right? It's just like, we're playing chess, and I said a chess word. Check. So there you go.
You know, it's interesting what strikes me here. Knowing that people who are mind wipes are considered not to be people at all. Look at how Brother Theo is treating Edward. Like he's an equal, like he is a person. He still sees a person there. He sees somebody new. Sheridan doesn't know any different.
Yeah.
Which this really has to throw shade, doubt, everything on this idea that those people aren't even people anymore. You know?
Yeah.
You keep this up as a society, something's going to happen. Then people going to revolt or something.
Yeah.
Do you really like it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, then when I've finished it, it's yours, if you'll have it.
I'd be honored, thank you.
Cool, I'll be
I like
50
how he doesn't
credits.
force it on him.
Right? He's like, yeah, if you'll have it.
You and
Yeah.
I know that's Cossa's ship.
Yeah.
We know that now.
Yeah.
There is no way on a first watch that I would have known that's Cossa's
Yeah, you would.
ship. No.
Yeah, we like spent time with it last season.
Still would not have known that was Cossa's ship.
Stuart makes the point that Brother Theo doesn't really know Brother Edward's background. He's just treating him like he would treat anyone else.
Is that true, though?
I think
don't
so.
know that that's
wanted to see
true.
me?
I think it is. I think.
I feel like Theo knows exactly who he is.
You should be informed.
Informed of what?
Returning.
Okay, that is so weird. What are they doing with her? Just
So I actually read about this. In this scene, they put her on a dolly, and she had to get down on her knees. And they had to do the take so many times because when it would get to the end of the track, she'd fall over. So it took them forever to film this. But yeah, she's sitting on a dolly. It's just like making her look like she's kind of floating there.
wow.
Ever since I made contact with Ambassador Kosh, I've been called there. I knew
Did she
they
just look
hadn't-
so intense?
And did they?
Not at first. We held position for 3 days, beaming a signal into their territory. I gave him the last of my money in exchange for the life pod. He left me there with 5 days of air, food, and water. The next thing I remember, I was on the Vorlon homeworld.
Well, come on, tell us about it.
I can't. I wish I could, but I'm not allowed to talk about most of what I saw. The rest, you wouldn't believe anyway.
Ambassador Kosh says you'll be working for him from now on. Was this a condition for being released?
It's
or-
entirely my decision. I'll be based here, but I'll be gone much of the time.
You do realize that sooner or later the Psychor is going to find out that you've come back. When that happens, they'll come after you. If you're on your own, we may not be able to protect
I have
you.
a Vorlon. I
You
think
don't
I'm going
have
to be
to.
okay.
He will.
I have a donk.
Well, either way, you've been through a lot. Now, you seem fine, but I'd like Dr. Franklin to do a full workup just to be sure.
Unless you have an objection.
No, not at all. I'll stop by as soon as I've settled.
Be great. My HMO doesn't actually have coverage on the Vorlon homeworld, so...
Now there's an interesting good luck charm.
Oh, this is where it all starts going south.
That's not mine.
Mm-hmm.
It fell from your bag.
I don't remember putting it there. I think I would have remembered a black rose.
Then it appears you have a secret admirer. Good seeing you, Brother Edward.
Or the exact opposite. I kind of want to pay attention and see if we see that Malcolm dude, like, slip by at any point.
Interplanetary Expeditions is proud to sponsor this segment of Interstellar Network News.
Okay, here's what's really cool. First time around, you throw IPX out there,
Whatever.
Have we heard of them before? Yeah, probably. Could I have pointed that out to you, or would I know anything? No, absolutely not. Knowing that they're as big as that, and you know where we really know them from is Crusade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, we really got to know them in Crusade. Seeing that here is kind of cool, you know?
Right.
Like, just in universe, it's what it is. So
It's got 3 names, so it's probably an assassination.
At which time the 12-person jury found Lester James Monroe guilty of the 7 murders committed during a 10-day killing spree in New Vegas. The mind wipe will take place Monday at midnight.
Jeff, pay attention to Garibaldi's words and Dylan's reaction here.
Okay.
After which he will spend the rest of his life serving the community that he harmed.
You know, guys like this make me long for the days of the electric chair. Hell, sometimes I think we need electric bleachers.
What exactly is this death of personality?
By erasing all his memories, you destroy the personality that committed the murders. You then build a new personality and send him someplace where he won't run into the family of his victims. And after that, he spends the rest of his life doing community service, helping society. They say it's more humane and keeps the prisons from getting overcrowded.
But you don't agree.
Oh, I'm an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of guy, Ambassador.
So you support a system that would leave everyone blind and toothless.
Right? Thank you, Gandhi.
Just the bad guys.
So on that, JMS says, you know, things were always very heated, political discussions at the lunch tables around the set. When things got especially hot, you could almost always bet Jerry Doyle was right there in the middle of it. One day, when talk turned to the death penalty, Jerry said that he was not only in favor of the electric chair, but that he was all for electric bleachers. No waiting that way, he said.
Okay.
I always make it a point to listen to the cast and graft some of their real life experiences onto their characters. So his position ended up coming out of Garibaldi's mouth in this episode.
Okay.
Literally what he just said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Dylan's reaction to that line is pretty much the way that Mira reacted when she heard this in the first place.
It's like, what?
So what would you do? You'd just have a world that's eyeless, blind, and toothless?
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense.
Please.
By
also,
the way,
it doesn't make sense.
Well, but again, that goes into a lot of the ideas of forgiveness, redemption, justification.
Yep.
There are some places where that need not happen. There are other places where that very much must happen.
Well, it makes me think about the idea of, like, so let's just say they killed that Luther Monroe guy or whatever. Just killed him.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? It takes them off the board, right? Like, he's not going to kill more people. But what does that do? He's left, what do they say, 10 people in 7 days or 7 people in 10 days?
Mm-hmm.
He's left that many holes and the ripples from those holes in society.
Mm-hmm.
And him facing the death penalty doesn't do anything to remedy or fix those holes, those wounds. What this does, and it's the whole thing, you're going to go back and serve the community. You're never going to make up for what happened, but you can try to at least provide some repair for what happens. The world, the community may be an improved place because this person is being asked to restore some of what they destroyed, as opposed to just wiping them off the board. The whole making them not people thing aside. It's cool. It's a cool concept.
No, not this. I was standing right here.
Maybe you're in another room.
Death walks among you. I know what I saw.
Right, you say it was there? It was there. I'll get you into another quarters for tonight. And my people will go over this place tomorrow and see what they can find.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Paul over in our chat says, I love the hand acting.
Yeah, he's very...
This is not going to help our audience, our audio audience. So I apologize, audio audience. But for our video folks, let's watch this again and pay particular attention to Brad Dourif's hands in this scene.
When if others are brought into this whole thing.
Understood.
Yeah, it's right there.
Big pointing.
That's almost Sheridan level pointing.
His hands are open and wide. I'm going to try to do this for audio folks.
Right here. I
The
saw
hands
it.
are very expressive, and they're just staying out there.
But the fingers are tight
And they're-
together.
It was a trick of the light.
Right?
With the thumbs out.
No, not this. I was standing right here. It said, "Death walks among you." I know what I saw.
His hands are in this V position.
Right.
1, 2,
say it was there? It was
3,
I'll get you
4,
into another quarters for
5,
tonight.
6,
My people will
7,
go over this place tomorrow and see
8,
what they can find.
9,
Is that okay?
10,
Okay.
11. 11 seconds
Of just-
before he moved his hands. They were just hanging in air.
You got to wonder what the direction was.
Well, that's an old... unless you have an emotional reason to move, don't move.
Mm-hmm.
So he said his line and he's there and he has no reason to move. So he's frozen.
Just hold it. I'll just hold it.
That's... Dude, that takes Harrison Ford's pointing thing and amps that up a notch. That's now I have to go back and watch Brad Dourif and everything and see if the hand thing is like, is it a Brad Dourif thing or was it that particular scene?
Yeah.
So, hey, by the way, I'm sure we talked about it in our first watch. You know the director for this episode?
Yeah, Adam Nimoy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that.
JMS gushed over the job Adam Nimoy did with this episode.
Really?
And he talked about how he really like he studied the script. He took time to understand it. He broke it down. Like he really dove into this script. And I got to tell you, I really wonder if a part of why this episode rings out so much is because of the work that Adam Nimoy did. Listen, give all the actors their flowers.
Yeah.
But because of this director and what he did, I really wonder how much that actually made a difference.
Well, and Mitsy in the chat, he also directs Zahadoom, which was
Does
an
he
incredible
really? I don't
episode,
remember that.
So.
That's cool.
A non-localized phenomenon.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
Was
If I
this the
project a
scene-
beam of light at the wall?
Was this the scene that we were talking about, like JMS kind of working through his own?
Yep.
Is also a projection. It does not exist inside us any more than the light exists inside the wall. But this shell is the only way we can perceive it.
We believe that the...
So then where is this projection being projected from?
That's what Dylan's answering right now.
I'm tracking the conversation, honestly, for my own sake, but also for...
The universe itself is conscious in a way we can never truly understand. It is engaged in a search for meaning. So it breaks itself apart, investing its own consciousness in every form of life. We are the universe, trying to understand itself.
So the universe is a being out there trying to understand itself. We're never going to understand it. We're these little peons, right?
Yeah.
The universe is it breaks itself apart, projecting various pieces of itself upon all these individuals, us as individuals, trying to figure itself out.
Yep.
And that's what we think of the soul is. But when the soul hunters come and steal a piece, it robs from the greater whole.
Which is what we
how can
see.
but you can't steal a projection. There's nothing to steal. It's just photons at that point.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I think
but there are new photons behind that one.
Them being projections, us being projections, is their belief, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And so maybe there's more to it than a projection.
May I ask you a question now?
Of course.
For you, personally, what is the defining moment of your belief? Not the history, the doctrines, but the emotional core of it.
It's a great question. I thought you were going to talk more about the universe stuff. I think so. In Christianity, I think we have a similar belief that I think it's in John, but it's the body of Christ. Like we are all the body of Christ, right? And that idea that you may be the foot and I might be the toe and you might be the this, and we're all just a piece of thing to be able to do his work.
I would say that was 100% a metaphor, but I understand other things may take that a little more literal than I or my sect would.
Yeah.
But that was more just a metaphor explaining our roles in our jobs.
Yeah. But this feels like a blown up version of that.
If that was a literal thing, or if that is to be properly interpreted as a literal thing, this could come from that. I could see that.
And they don't necessarily have Christ, so it's the universe.
Right.
I've given this idea of being pieces of the universe trying to figure stuff out. I've given this a lot of thought since watching this the first time. And I think like there's a lot to it that starts to make sense. When we talk a lot about the importance of learning history is so we don't repeat it, right? What do we do all the time? Repeat history.
Yeah. Repeat our failures.
All the time. All the time. At a macro level, at a personal level. And so I feel like it might be one of those things where the universe is trying to figure things out. And so like it gives this thing a go. Hey, maybe when I do this thing, oh shoot, no, that did not go well at all. All right, well, let's take some of the stuff we learned and try it again. And then it's like, oh shoot, that actually turned out so much worse. Like as it kind of keeps going through. And maybe, you know, like with the Minbari belief, we get to a point where it's like, hey, I'm going to try this thing. Oh, there it is. Nailed it. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I always say, you know, when you go out and you try something, you fail. You didn't fail. You just learned how not to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That I just found out a way to not actually make that happen that I wanted to have happen. And all the different ways that you try it, that's all you're learning is how to make it not, it doesn't work this way.
Yeah.
Which comes in handy when you need to do it again, because you can say, hey, all those ways over there, that's not going to work.
Right. Let's do it this other way.
Let's do it this way that it is going to work.
Or is more likely, or might possibly, or whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing that I love about the idea of us all being part of a greater whole, like we're all pieces of it, is that now if I do something to help you, I'm actually helping myself. Because
I know some people that would very much decry that because then that becomes a more selfish motivation.
Right.
But I don't see that as selfish at all. It's just what happens.
Well, it's how we
like. It's an added benefit, like a bonus, right? Like, oh, cool.
But
I
also
can help somebody else, but it also helps me, and that's cool.
Well, the flip side of that is if I help myself, I'm helping you.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's all one thing. The other side to that, though, is if you are hurting, I am hurting. If you're feeling good, I'm feeling good. Right. And so this kind of takes what we talk about a lot. Those people, right. You know, like, oh, those people that don't have homes. Oh, my gosh. They're so whatever. No, they're you. Right. The pain that they're feeling, you are also feeling and experiencing.
I have another pet sci-fi theory.
Yeah.
I might have shared this with you once before. We know there's a thing out there called the multiverse. Does it exist? I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows? Sure.
We also know that there's this stuff out there called dark matter. It's stuff that puts off gravity in the universe that we cannot detect. We have no idea where it's coming from. We just know that it's there because of gravity that we can't explain otherwise. Okay. What if religion? What if what we think of as religion? Oh, by the way, we also know that the two interact. They can interact. The multiverses can interact. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What if what we think of as religion, of the spiritual, the whatever, is actually the beings from another multiverse, from another universe, trying to interact? But it's why we can't necessarily directly interact, but we can feel the presence, we can feel the interactions. But what it is it's this a grander universe that is somehow broken into a multiverse. And what we are is we're really this multiverse trying to get ourselves back together. Like we're trying to reach out to each other and understand each other and get each other back together.
Yeah, like those moments you feel it's like you're both close to each other out of phase, or whatever. But dude, that just takes this
occupying the same space at the same time. I mean, also the ideas of ghosts and anything that's spiritual, anything that's metaphysical, almost like supernatural. What if that's actually it's a multi-universe alien, so to speak.
It's like
I'm not spouting this as religion. I'm just saying this is my sci-fi, like, what if,
It's fun to think though, because I just watched the HBO series Welcome to Derry, the It prequel thing, and it, like, that theory it's almost like, hey, we took this evil being from this other universe, and to save this universe, we put him here in yours, kind of thing, and so then you get the stuff and whatever, and that's a good theory. It's fun.
It's fun to think about, right? Like that's where we're trying, and I think it would explain a lot, honestly.
It would, right? Yeah, there's a character in there who can see the dead, right? He's like a much older Haley Joel Osment, but yeah, why not? Like, when you die, maybe you just go to one of these other universes. So why not? Sometimes you go through, There
you go.
On the night before our Lord was crucified, he spent the night alone in the Garden of Gethsemane. And he knew that they were going to come for him. And in a moment of weakness, he asked if this cup could pass from him, if he could be spared the pain.
I love that he says that's in a moment of weakness.
Really?
I've never considered that a moment of weakness.
Me either. I think of it as a moment of humanity.
Come to Gethsemane. But he did not have to be there when they arrived. He could have chosen to leave, to postpone the inevitable for a few hours or even days. He knew what would happen, but he chose to stay, to sacrifice himself, and thus atone for the sins of others. It's a very fragile human moment, and I've often thought about that night, and I honestly don't know if I would have had the courage to have stayed.
I love that so much. Bro, guess what you're going to get to do here in a little bit?
Well, I mean, that's good writing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you exactly what this episode's about. You don't have to question it.
Perhaps we could continue our discussion in a few days. I would very much like to hear about Valen sometime.
I would like that.
As would I. Valen was the greatest of us. 1,000 years ago, he came from nowhere and formed the Great Council and brought peace to our people. They say he was a Minbari, not born of Minbari. According to the
another
time.
Right there, Glenn's like, whoa, you're going too far.
That's what we needed. Like, that's the thing. Minbari, not born of Minbari.
Again,
like, I feel like that's the first time we've heard that. Is it not?
It might be.
Good night.
Yeah.
They're just feeding us along.
Do you see what Brother Edward did?
Yeah, he did the thing.
He did the thing. Like, with the hands and all of that. Interesting.
It's the thing I like about a lot of the orders of Catholicism. I've postulated that these folks are all Jesuits, and that's a thing with Jesuits. They're very ecumenical, right? Of the crossing of things. And some of my favorite Catholic teachers out there are mystics I've talked about before, but there's one of my absolute favorite, Father Richard Rohr. In an interview said this thing once. He's like, if I was born in India, well, they asked him, hey, are you like a priest? Do you believe? Do you this? He's like, oh yeah, I believe deeply, and that Jesus came, he died for us. I believe all of those things very deeply. But if I was born in India, I'd be a Hindu, and I would believe those things very deeply. And they kind of see where the connective tissue of belief at a higher level than just, oh, this is the thing that we got from our geography.
Right.
So him doing that thing with the Minbari it's totally on brand for a Jesuit. He's feeling good about his conversation, and now stuff's about to go not great.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Hello? Hello?
Again, the hand acting. Hello? He's just
right?
Spreading his arms.
I can't
all wide.
unsee it now, right? Uh-oh.
Hey, Charlie.
You killed her.
I love that his name is Charlie. Chucky.
So he just did something that broke the mind wipe, right? That Minbari that was in the elevator with him, or not Minbari,
Centauri.
That Centauri that was in the elevator with him was a telepath and broke his mind wipe. That's why he's getting this flood of stuff in his head now, right?
I think that's it. Yeah, and it's kind of trying to pull some of it out.
They're actively pulling it out, or this is just everything that's been submerged in his subconscious coming forward.
I don't remember.
Now, is that one of his victims and he's seeing like an apparition, or is this a real new victim?
It's one of his, I think it's a past thing. I don't think it's a new one.
So in a moment, we're going to see something, and it's going to reference back to something that just happened in the middle of this conversation.
Okay.
So he's in this elevator with this Centauri guy, right?
Yeah.
Edward has this bag on his shoulder, right?
That he ends up dropping.
And we'll notice the Centauri's already gone, right? Which is why I don't think this is a Centauri trying to pull this stuff out. I think this is flooding through his mind. And what we see is here he has dropped his bag and left it behind. This is going to come back later.
Yeah.
Just remember this. Nia is pointing out that they're actually playing some of this over the loudspeaker in this area as well, that they'll mention that later.
They created a lot of theater when Garibaldi and Lita violate the mind of the Centauri.
You know what it is? It's the techno mages. They're making it happen.
It's magic. Techno magic.
I lost the bag, the one you gave me. I'm sorry.
A bag can be replaced. Right now, I'm more concerned with you. Have you spoken to anyone else?
Giving humanity to somebody who doesn't have humanity.
But I don't think you can help me. I'm having...
I still think Edward knows who he
memories.
is.
There's an interesting shot set up here that I think I'm reading into too much. But this is the angle of Theo over Edward. This gives me real confessional vibes.
Does it?
Like Theo's the priest, the confessor, and there's and that the little like the grating behind it, like that's usually between the two of them. Like if they just blocked that a little bit differently, it would have been there. But
well, and their clothing, the way it's lit, is black effectively. Now we know it's not really black, but it is. Also, I mean, just the lighting. Like Brother Theo looks like a boss right now.
Yes.
You know. Question. In a confessional, is the priest usually seated a little higher than the person who's in the other side of the booth with him?
Not necessarily. No, there's no real.
They're not sitting on pillows or anything over there.
Yeah, it might be. It depends. You know, there's not a confessional has to be this kind of thing.
We're not elevating the priest.
No, but I think there's a power differential there. Right. You know, I mean, most people kind of at least have that feeling of like looking up, you know, at a thing. And
do they?
I would imagine. I know as a kid, I sure felt
things
that way.
I never did, or
well, you were also
thought I never
back
did.
then.
I don't know where they're coming from or what they mean.
Then perhaps it's best to leave them alone.
That's terrible advice, by the way, to just leave it alone.
Nothing.
Like it is deeply troubling him. Just shove it down.
Do you want me to stay with you a while?
No, it's all right. I'm fine.
One of my monks is having bad dreams.
Here's where we find out that he knows, I'm guessing.
Well, he has my sympathies, but I don't see what I can do.
He believes they are memories he cannot account for. For 8 years, Brother Edward has been the best of us. I would hate for him to discover that at some earlier time in his life, he was something very different.
I told you he knew who he was.
I can't believe it. Not him.
Neither can I. I do not have the resources to find out.
I think he doesn't know, but he's piecing it together.
You do. If I know Edward, he certainly started digging into this on his own. I need you to get there first.
Dude, I just love how much he cares, you know? Like,
I will amend what I said and I'll go with you.
Yeah? You think?
He knows something. He suspects something is up, but he's not sure what. I'll go with you on that.
You okay?
He's piecing it together.
I lost my bag somewhere around here.
And his whole inclination is to help, right? He's like, there's something bad happened. I want to take care of him.
And then voices.
I love that Brother Theo is like, something bad happened to him or he did something bad, and it's not relevant to me. I just want to make sure I can take care of him.
Well, I need to know about it, or we need to help him work through it before he discovers something about himself and it ruins everything.
It hurts
he
him.
is.
Yeah.
Because he is a person to me. He's a person to me. Now, I want to know how this mind wipe isn't just picking up trash on the side of the road. How did he get to go join an order?
Yeah.
Because the template, maybe the template just
doesn't make sense there.
Work. It didn't hold in this particular case or something of that nature.
If they have a monk template, like they're gonna get treated like people.
Yeah. Although I will say, you know, Theo tells him, he's like, hey, you should take these little things and start selling them and we can make money. He's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Why? Because he can't make money. He can't be rewarded for his service and his work. Like, that still rings true.
That's both mind wipey and Franciscan.
Yeah. What did
I
Tuvok
lost
say?
my bag somewhere around here. There was Centauri. Perhaps he saw it.
So the bag thing comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there was a question if the Centauri stole the bag.
Okay.
To which JMS went, dude, were you even watching the episode? It was plain as day in front of you. The Centauri was already long gone by the time he left his bag on the floor. He just dropped it. So no, the Centauri didn't steal it from him. Okay. JMS didn't actually say those words. I may have interpolated on top of them.
It makes sense, though.
Forgive me. I still have some trauma I'm working through.
At 12:05 tonight, the death of personality was carried out against Charles Dexter, also known as the Black Rose Killer, for the ritualistic mark left beside each of his victims. 9 people were murdered by Dexter before he was found, arrested, and convicted. Following the mind wipe, Dexter will be transported out of the Orion system and put to work serving the society harmed by his actions.
God, could you imagine that, just seeing yourself and having no memory of it?
So this is independent.
How did he end up
of
in a
what
monastery?
Edwards just
After
said.
they erased his memory, they transferred him to an interim facility back home.
So we'll just piece this together. He was mind wiped. He was templated, but a fire breaks out. They presume he's dead, so they stop looking for him. But he still has this desire to serve, and he winds up at a monastery.
Yeah.
Because where else is he going to go? Because he's outside of what his programming and the controls are that are on him.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't go back, Theo.
Paul calls this out in the chat, but I see it there too. Now it is the confessional. You got the bars between them. Edward is up higher than Theo, kind of looking down.
Yep.
Things have changed.
How could they do it? They say it's humane, merciful. Do you know
His
what it's like
eyes
to
just
wake
turned
up one
black.
day and discover you're a monster, a murderer?
Listen to me, Edward. We can work this out.
No, it's too late. What if I had died, Theo, never knowing what I had been? How can I confess my sins to God if I don't even know what they are? The blood of innocent people is still on my hands.
Is it, though?
That's
My
dogmatically
memories
incorrect.
are the creation of somebody else, and my soul is the soul of a killer, and everything that I have done has been a lie.
That's
Not
not true, Edward.
Yes. Listen.
You've helped, cared for people.
Very real.
It's not enough.
Or that's what you
Who
say.
knows what other
You're putting that
crimes
limit
I
on
may
yourself.
have committed that they never found out about, that
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
remember. I am a murderer, Theo.
You know, this is an interesting thing because, particularly in Christianity, Catholicism on some level, Jeff, I would imagine, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it goes to here. There is a difference between being forgiven for your sins, your individual sins, the time you lied and the time you did this and the time you lusted and the time you did this, and you got to, I mean, you better keep really good account.
Right. Yeah.
And being forgiven of your sin, your sin nature,
Yeah.
all of this, your capacity for sin, of sin. It's kind of like the one, like it's like the umbrella that covers them all, because it's not just the individual sins as much as your sin as a whole, your nature of who this is, and that is then forgiven. And he is going off the, well, what about all these other things that I haven't even accounted for yet? Because he's accounting sin by sin. And Brother Theo is looking at it on the bigger umbrella side of it, you know.
When the Second Vatican, before the Second Vatican Council, so like the 60s and 1960s and back, that was really the expectation in Catholicism, that you would show up to confession and be like, I lied 418 times. I did this 13 times, like, But the little like safety valve they had was at the end of that, you would say, for these and for all of the sins I have committed, that I remember or not, I am truly sorry. After the Second Vatican Council, and it's really evolved in the last 60 years, that has changed. So where it's like, no, like exactly what you said, we are sinners by nature. And so when you go to confession, which, by the way, misconception, not required in Catholicism, not required, it's offered, because we've been forgiven. It's done. It's already done. But it's there. So you can go and you'd be like, hey, like, I've really been struggling with this thing, or, you know, like whatever. And the two things that really happen, when a priest does a good job, is they validate what you're feeling and then talk about how, like, hey, here's what this means and looks like through the eyes of the church. And here are ways you can whatever and do. But it's almost like a mini counseling session more than it's a mea culpa, go do 14 Hail Marys and you're all good. Like you may still end up doing 14 Hail Marys or whatever, just the tradition of it all. But the best confession I ever had was after I'd been away from the church for about 17 years. And the first one I came back to, and I told the priest this, that, and the other. And what he had me do was I'd felt I had really hurt two very specific people and that were no longer a part of my life. And he says, I want you to write a letter to them. Whether you send it or not is up to you, but you write a letter as if you're going. And it was incredible. Like it forced me to kind of work through a lot of this stuff. He didn't make me to go do Hail Marys or Our Fathers or any of that stuff that's in the tropey stuff. Some of them still do, but that was a great confession. I felt better afterwards. Although I'd already been forgiven, I actually felt that.
There's a piece of me that has long had a desire to walk into a Catholic church and go through the confessional thing. One, out of sheer curiosity for what it's like. There's other reasons why I think, but it also just feels like weird to me. Like I'm not Catholic, so I don't know that I should or that I could or what. Like, hey, I'm just here trying to check out what this whole thing is about. Like I don't want to be like that either. But I do feel like there could be some really beneficial pieces to that, almost as a counseling way that you mentioned. You know, to just go and. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't just like kick me out and be like, no, you can't come out here. Like, nope. I'm pretty sure they'd be like, yes, come in. This is what we're for.
I'd say 99 out of 100 priests would be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's talk about it. Let's do the whole thing. That there's always the one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to go through our RCIA process and blah, blah, blah. No. Just it's available to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially because you've been baptized. Like you're a baptized Christian. So it's like, yeah, you should know this. Come in here and we should be able to, we should tell you this stuff.
Interesting. I got dunked though, not sprinkled.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Catholic Church recognizes all other Christian baptisms. As long as you're baptized in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, they recognize it.
Dang it was the Holy Ghost.
Sins of my former life.
It was the ghost for me, actually. So
there must be justice.
If you ask God to forgive your sins, he knows what they are, even if you've forgotten.
Yeah.
Leave it in his hands.
Goodbye.
There's a great verse. I'm sorry. I hate to keep
no,
it, but
it's great.
This is the topic of it. There's a great verse. I want to say it's in Romans that talks about how it's okay if you don't know what to pray. The Holy Spirit knows what to pray for you.
Yeah.
Like you can just be like, hey, I don't even know what to say here. I feel like I should. Or I feel like my heart's in this spot. I don't even know what I can't verbalize it. Do it for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, done.
Here's my feelings.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's this, hey, listen, for all these things, I don't even know. I don't have the capacity to know, but you do. So here you go.
Yeah.
I'm just, and that is in many ways ultimate faith.
Right?
I don't even know what this is, so I'm just going to depend on you to do it. And I don't even know what the heck you're doing.
Giving it to you.
Yeah.
It makes me think in terms of justice too, like where's the real value, right? Is the value in going through sin by sin, crime by crime, or is it saying, hey, look, I messed up and I want to do better? Like which of those two things is better for everyone? You know, but
sure. As
a society, we still have that drive to, you have to pay and you have to do this. And it's really unfortunate.
Well, I mean, that's where I go back to it's more your sin. Hey, I am a sinner. I sin. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And I can't reconcile it on my own. That's my confession. I can't do this on my own. I can't reconcile because there's all these, I don't even know what all I do. This is just my thing. I can't not do it.
It's so much.
And it needs to be reconciled from someone else on my behalf. And there you go.
Theo.
What Edward's doing here is a thing. We just keep talking, but I think what's so great about, because we can sit here and be like, no, you're wrong. Theo's like, you're not. We can sit back here and do it. But I think what he's experiencing is what so many lapsed Christians and people who've lapsed in their faith experience, where they're like, hey, I want to go back. I want to rejoin my community. I want to go back to my church. But I mean, I've done awful stuff. God would never want me back. The stuff I've done, like, oh my gosh, I'm not forgivable. It's the thing you hear a lot with people coming back, and it's like, well, guess what? You've actually already been forgiven. Like, it's good. It's good. But I just appreciate here Edward's desire to balance the scales. I did bad. I need to make it better. But it's unfortunate he's in that place of, that means punishment.
It's brother.
Hey, there you go.
Now, he forgot to turn off his comm pad after talking to Delenn. It's a good thing, too. It recorded voices in the hallway, voices Edward thought were just in his head. So I had my people check the area. Somebody tapped into the PA system and used it to rattle him. We also found traces of a chemical on the wall of his quarters that would look like blood for a few minutes, then disappear.
Someone's here. Someone who wants him to remember.
But that's not enough. Shake a mind wipe like this, you need more. You'd need...
Telepath?
What are they going to get out of it?
Yeah, one thing they thought they didn't get when he was mind-wiped instead of executed. Revenge.
Revenge. Not justice. Revenge.
Revenge. There's a big difference.
Here he is in the garden. We watched Convictions a couple weeks ago. The note from JMS Speaks was, this is dark. This is gritty. Yeah, that's nothing compared to this episode.
Right. This is a dark and gritty episode. Yeah. Uh-oh. He's about to get them kicked out of him.
I knew you would come. We came all right. It took us 9 years to find you, but we finally ran you to ground. Look around. You know who we are?
I think so. You're the sons and daughters and husbands of the women I murdered.
You escaped justice before. You didn't pay for what you did. That's gonna change. We wanted you to know what you had done. We wanted you to remember it all, so that you'd know why we did it, so that it'd be fresh in your mind when you got to hell. Now that we're here, they don't have the guts to do what is necessary.
So powerful.
I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
I was going to say, so powerful. I don't know if I'd have the courage to do that if I were. And here he is, doesn't even hesitate. All right, let's go.
Well, on the other side, he says, we've been hunting you down for 9 years. We've gone through all this. We've done all this. And now that the moment's here, they don't have the guts to do this, but I do. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Maybe it's not guts. Maybe it's just a thing called humanity. Maybe it's a thing called compassion. Maybe it's a thing called redemption. Not even forgiveness. I'm not going to say you're going to forgive the guy, but we've said it before. We'll say it again. I think we even said it last week. Bitterness is like drinking a poison, hoping that the other person dies.
Yeah.
Right? It's like drinking a poison yourself, hoping that somebody else dies. That's what bitterness does. Their bitterness isn't there the way it is with him. Anger, sure. Does it absolve him? Does it make everything okay? Absolutely not. But to take life for life, eye for eye, to go back to Delenn's words, we're just going to be toothless and blind because this is the way we are. Mm-hmm. But Garibaldi has another viewpoint. So why wait? Just take them all out. Why are we waiting? Why are we hanging out? I'd like to see it done this way. There's value to that as well.
Mm-hmm, there is, for sure. But it goes to a thing we talk about a lot, and actually just talked about the other day in a very specific situation, but dehumanization, right? Yeah. When you put a label on a group of people, it's easy to hate them.
That's all it does when you put a label on. It makes it easier to hate. Yeah.
It's super hard to hate Edward. And so for 9 years, they've had this idea of who this Black Rose killer is.
Yeah.
And then the second they're faced with Brother Edward, everything changed for them. And I think that's the power of humanizing someone.
Yeah.
Who hired you?
Sorry. That information is confidential.
Look, we're running out of time. And you're going to tell me who they are.
Dude, the Centauri, here I'm going to label them all. What? The Centauri really are just a...
What are you going to do?
Bunch of...
Torture it out of me? Not likely. You have no jurisdiction over Centauri telepaths, so you can't arrest me. And you can't use another
I wouldn't mind punching this guy in the face,
out of my brain.
but I also wouldn't mind just kicking him in the balls.
Has
all 6 of them.
Yeah, such activities.
We have a little surprise for you.
Kick him in the tentacles.
Do it.
Dude, it's pretty nuts how complicit Sheridan is in this.
Let it go. Let it go, or I'll fry every synapse you've got.
Okay, here's the thing. You know what's great about this? And thank God for Pat Tallman coming back. She can sit there. She can do the thing with the eyes, and she can talk to him. We know exactly what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have to sit there and go, pain.
Right. Not till later. She does that later.
But only because it was established that that's how it's done. Yeah. But she doesn't have to do that. She could just be like, just do this, and we can see the person, and we know exactly what's happening.
Brown 42. They're in Brown 42.
Why would the Centauri know that? Hire him to break the mind wipe, don't tell him anything else. Also, because soon-to-be Malcolm's probably an idiot.
Let's go over there, let's split up, let's search by quarters.
Man, we'll take him to Brown 42, see? And then we'll beat him up.
In here! Someone help! In here! Med alert, round 42. We need a trauma team stat.
Take note of how long it takes for the med team to arrive.
Okay.
I knew what was going to happen. I didn't wait for them to come, so forgive them for doing what had to be done.
Forgive them, for they know not what they do.
I always wanted to know if I would have the courage to stay at the Garden of Gethsemane. Now I know, Theo.
Captain?
Dude, Zach got there before the med team.
We caught him trying to sneak out a back way. He's got blood on his hands and shirt.
You did this?
Yeah, I don't deny it. He had it coming after all these years and murdering son of a...
Thank God they didn't have this guy throughout the rest of the episode.
Right.
Captain, calm down. Calm down.
They cast him for his looks.
Wow, just swinging hook. Go Adam Nimoy. That's a director's choice right there.
Listen to uplifting music underneath.
Is there enough forgiveness for what I've done?
Always, Edward. Always. Take my hand.
I just want to point out, there was a point I remember in the first watch where I declared Londo irredeemable.
Mm-hmm.
And later he was redeemed. And I said then that even when I said that, there is never a too late. If you ain't dead, you ain't done.
Right.
I just want to echo Theo's words here. There's always, always enough forgiveness.
By the authority which the Apostolic See has given me, I grant you a full pardon and remission of all your sins. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Jeff, is that familiar to you at all?
It is. It's very similar to what used to be called last rites. It's basically an absolution of all sins before you die. They now do more of a blessing of the sick, but it might also be called extreme unction.
From JMS, the absolution scene. Based on what used to be called the rites of extreme unction, or last rites, is now called celebration of passing. I went to the Catholic Church's information office and got the actual text. I made a few small adjustments here and there, condensing it a bit on the logic that Edward didn't have a lot of time, and modified a few small points here and there, basically on the logic that, over the next couple of hundred years, some things could change,
Mm-hmm.
But what he just did there, that's not him just Googling it or whatever. He actually went to the office and pulled the real text and then, twinkled with it just a little bit, but that's actually what it is.
Yeah.
He actually had to go get it.
Yeah.
That's
great. It's great.
Welcome back. That was a short trip.
The ambassador's errands, aren't you?
Oh, well, okay. So we've never really seen the med team get there.
Yeah, they never showed up.
Okay. So on the question of why did it take so long for the med team to get to Edward or ever, well, Brown 42 is in a pretty distant part of down below. You don't have trains or cars down below. It's just transport tubes, the central core shuttle. And besides, even if they gave a damn about what happens down there, they generally don't, it'd still take at least 5 to 10 minutes to get a trauma team down there. And Edward was dead within about 3. JMS points out, and we know this from his own autobiography, I was once mugged a half mile from a police station, a mile from a hospital. It took them 30 minutes to get me to the hospital.
Yeah.
Where does revenge end and justice begin? Yeah. Forgiveness is a hard thing, isn't it, Theo?
I don't think anything can ever be more difficult.
Keep this in a place of honor.
Right next to his socks in his bathroom.
Brother Theo, I'm ready to go now.
Good. I'll walk you to your ship. This is Brother Malcolm. He has just joined the order under most unusual circumstances. I asked for him specifically when I heard he wanted to serve others. You must excuse the captain, Malcolm. I believe you were saying that forgiveness is a hard thing, but something ever to strive for.
He's rubbing his nose in it.
Were you not, Captain?
I don't think he's rubbing his nose for it in it at all. I think he's teaching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's
yeah.
His form of teaching is very much.
Well,
good luck to you.
It's whatever
Things
works.
work out.
I'm sure it will. Thank you, sir.
I remember the first
now,
time, Jeff, being very impressed and taken aback at Sheridan's response here. Because you see his, I'm going to kill this guy. Yep. And you see him have to make a decision to forget whatever his other character's name was and shake his hand as Brother Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
You miss your flight.
Where does revenge end and justice begin? Right here. Sheridan, right there. That's where it happens.
In your heart.
Mm-hmm. He made a decision.
You. Yeah. Wow. Kosh headpiece just chilling, not raised up on the mechanical thing, just set off to the side. Yeah, Mitsy brings up a good point. That whole scene only works because of Bruce Boxleitner's acting.
Yeah.
Dude, she's got the gills on the neck.
Uh-huh.
She's got the gills on the neck. I saw them.
The gills we know are So she can breathe his atmosphere.
The atmosphere, yeah.
But I still don't get this thing.
Well, I think I think I know what that is. Council Chambers, back me up if I'm right or wrong. Kosh, like, goes into her body and is like walking around as her. This is him coming out of her body.
That's where the goth look comes. When he's in her, she's kind of got the, because it's very much a little bit like,
and there's a little bit of Kosh left in him, much like there'll be a little bit of Kosh left in Sheridan later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in her.
Brent, that is it. We just passed through Gethsemane for the second time. We talked about a lot during the watch itself. Is there anything that popped out you want to cover here now that we're on the other side?
Man, I got to tell you, I still don't know that this is a monumental episode in the overall story of Babylon 5.
Tell me more.
What comes out of this episode? Lita's back. Okay, that could have happened in any episode. You know, does Sheridan learn something here that he applies later? I don't know that we can make a direct connection. We can maybe imply some things, but we don't get that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
This episode, just like I said, you small this down to what episodes really matter. This isn't one of them. It's just not. Whatever I said the first time we watched this, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning of this episode. As 43 minutes of television, this is must-watch TV. It's so good.
Yeah.
It makes you think. It makes you feel. It gives you it presents a situation. It shows you both sides. It gives you something, and then it says, discuss. Have fun with it. Go.
Yeah, right.
You know? And you can just go and have discussion after discussion. You can talk about how what the symbolism of this means. Hey, by the way, we've got another episode coming up later in, let's see, this is number 4 in about 12 episodes or so, where symbolism is gonna be a lot. This episode shows you how to do it correctly.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, this episode, even with him seeing the body of this supposed dead person, which I think you and I both agree that wasn't really there, but he saw it and he reacted. Like, this is a fantastic episode of television. This is a great standalone episode of television. I think you could take this episode, frankly, and put it up for any amount of awards, and it probably ought to win few.
Well, yeah.
You know,
directing, score, acting.
Jeff, this might be the single greatest filler episode of all time.
Yes. Yeah. It does nothing and is near perfect.
Yeah. Single greatest episode of filler ever. How about you, Jeff? Anything coming out of this episode?
Nothing really more other than what you just said. It makes me again think of part of like the Catholic liturgy. So I think the point of this episode is really to get us to be wearing the right lenses as we move into the rest of the series. Same thing I thought when we watched it the first time. In the Catholic liturgy, there's sets of readings. Like the pinnacle is there's a reading from the gospel, but prior to that is a reading usually from the Old Testament that relates to the gospel. And the intent is that you hear the gospel through Jewish ears. Right now, thousands of years later, we hear the passages of the gospel and we're like, oh yeah, prodigal son. That's okay, cool. Yeah, I get that. But when you were Jewish back then, and that was the stuff, some of this stuff was like, what in the heck is this guy? Like, it would blow your mind to hear some of these things. And so that was the intent behind like doing the Old Testament reading. I think that's this episode. It's supposed to give us the eyes and the ears to be able to be watching for just revenge ending and justice beginning, what forgiveness looks like, what courage in the face of the unbeatable looks like. You know, you can look at so many of like the moment of Edward there in the brown garden of Gethsemane, accepting what is coming to him, right? Like, hey, this is my lot. So it's coming. That's Londo when they get when he gets the keeper put on him. Hey, I'm going to show up willingly, stand up tall, and take this thing. Like, I think this really set up so much of what's to come so that it will matter more. Now, could those things still happen and be powerful on their own? Absolutely. Like, this isn't necessary for those things, but I think it just strengthens them and makes them bigger. The fact that we were talking about this episode all the way into season 5, I think about the very long night of Londo Mollari, and we referenced this episode throughout, just shows the echoes and the reverberations and the power that it has in the canon. I feel like we talked about messages quite a bit during the episode itself.
We did, but there's one that I want us to discuss a little bit for. You and I both pointed it out, and I want us to have the discussion. And you and I are both going to come at this from our individual backgrounds,
as you do,
with where they are, and we can't be anything other than that. So we're just going to let it be. Also, by the way, the episode is what brought it up, not us. So we're going to discuss. Okay. There's a question that was asked. Sheridan asked a great question. Where does revenge end and justice begin? And you and I both just sort of flippantly said, not flippantly, but it begins in the heart. It begins in you. Dive into that a little bit more, Jeff.
Oh, gosh. I was actually talking about this earlier today.
Where are you now?
I talk about forgiveness and stuff on a pretty regular basis. It's a normal thing for me. So for me, I think that decision really comes from a level of maturity, emotional maturity, societal maturity, spiritual maturity. I think that the desire for revenge is totally understandable and justifiable, right? We are humans, and sometimes the idea of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth is very appealing, right? Think of Hammurabi's code, and like if you steal, you get your hands chopped off. Like, yeah, that's you should know better, right? You can't do the time, don't do the crime. Like, we've got all this stuff that's been really hammered into us forever, but also resonates with a lot of our humanity, Like, I mean, we are, if you go back through time, we're a violent species, and
Sure.
We've solved or attempted to solve a lot of our problems through violence. So that desire for vengeance and revenge makes sense, but it doesn't help, right? I mean, we've seen this in movies and TV and books and video games, but that moment when you get your hands on the person that wronged you or whatever, and it's like, what is that going to get you? Okay, you kill them. Now what? Now you feel guilty because you killed somebody? Like, now you feel worse? Like,
it's going to make me feel better.
Yeah, will it?
Is it?
Yeah, for 30 seconds, maybe 8 seconds, like maybe, but not in the long term. And it's understanding that piece of like, justice is about healing, right? Like, I don't know that there's value in punishing a person, right? Like, what does that do? When I grew up,
I got to be. Can I give a caveat? I am 100% with you on all of this. I have often said that I think our current punitive system, putting people in jail for anything that they do, just is bad.
It's dumb,
and it doesn't work. Okay. And you guys have heard me. I've been loud and clear about the idea of forgiveness and being a person who forgives and not hanging on to bitterness or whatever. That being said, I am also human too. And I'm not immune to this. And I've got to imagine if somebody, God forbid, ever came in and did the absolute worst to my little girl. I saw a video today. There was a court sentencing of a guy who killed a son, and the father is there in the courtroom. And in a moment when people's guards were down, he launched at this dude.
Yeah.
And now that father's probably in jail himself and probably going to do some time himself for that. But I got to tell you, the most human person of me, I'm just full confession here. If somebody ever did the worst to my little girl, I'm not forgiving. And justice would be the electric chair. I'm full. I can sit here and pontificate and say all this right and wrong, and I'm going to here in just a moment. But I also just fully acknowledge in my humanity, I'm not like, no, that person's done. I can't imagine anything less than that.
There's a comedian who does a bit where he's like, I didn't understand real love until my son was born. My son was born, I held him. I'm like, I would die for you. Like, I don't even know who you are, and I would die for you. He's like, but I didn't really understand it until my daughter was born. Because she was born, I held her, and I'm like, I will kill for you.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing. It's a real thing. Yeah. But I want to take that because I acknowledge that. That makes total sense. I imagine the same. Like this is my question. We are called, right? As people of faith, we are called, as our values as a society call us. We don't do that, right? We trust to the system and we let these things happen or whatever. In my mind, I will rip the flesh off of the son of a bitch that hurts her. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it will be brutal and awful. Yeah. There's chat going on about the It series and how I don't like horror. This would be beyond. Like, it would be awful what I would do. But I also wonder, would I have the courage to stay in the garden, right? Brother Edward asked that. Jesus did it. We read about it. There it is. I often wonder if I would have the courage to do the same. And it showed up for him, and he did. So, dear God, please never let this show up for either one of us. But there's a part of me that wants to believe I would have the courage to be like, hey, this is awful. I'm going to love my kid, and I'm going to be there for them, and I'm going to do all that stuff. And I'm going to have compassion for this guy and understand there was stuff going on, and like he's hurting too, and all that. I want to believe I would have that. I don't know if I would, though.
I don't know if I would. Yeah. It's real easy to sit here in the comfort of our little office chairs and our little air-conditioned houses and different corners of the United States of America and pontificate about what we would do in a given situation. And the truth is, who knows? But I know what I would like to do.
Yeah.
And I know what I would like to think that I would do. And I know that what I would like to encourage others to do. Now, the example that you and I have just both gone through, Jeff, is the most extreme example. More everyday, more reasonable. We can come back to where does justice begin and revenge end? Katerina has a great quote, and I'm sure it's hers. Revenge begins when the one who does quote unquote justice enjoys inflicting pain on someone else.
Really profound.
Even if it's a bad person. Maybe they don't even care if it's a bad or good person. They just enjoy
it.
Inflicting pain.
You know, I've talked about this before. I'm not going to go through all of it, but when I was I've talked about it, not in detail here. Maybe someday I will, maybe I won't, but through my own journey of being very wronged and having to find justice and forgive and do those things. I did a lot of work around what forgiveness was. And one of the really important steps was the third in 5 steps. And it's understanding, what did I write back here? That at some point the other person will be held accountable for what happened. I might never know how. I might not know when. I may never see it or even know about it. But I have to believe that at some point they'll be held accountable, and I'm not the one responsible for that accountability. They will get their comeuppance somehow. Most likely not in the way I think it should happen, but it will happen, and I have to trust and believe that. And once I can move forward towards forgiveness. I don't get stuck on that need for revenge.
Yeah.
Although still sometimes, God, it'd be great. I would love to, but also
I think in another real practical way, there is a point where, and Ben says there's a reason why justice should not be served by the direct victims or the family of the victims or something like that. Like there's a reason why that probably ought not happen. But I've got to, for most things, okay, you're wronged somehow, some way, big, small, whatever. I think in the best of us kind of a moment, you get to that spot. You're standing over this person. You are Caesar in the gladiatorial ring, and you can go thumb up or thumb down, right? And you realize in that moment, like you could do it. You could make any call you want. I don't need this anymore. I just don't. It's okay. I don't. That's where justice. Justice can be served without revenge being dished. Oh, quote that.
That's really good. That's really
quote
good.
That.
You know, the best example of that comes to mind for me right away The end of the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi. He's got John Kreese, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the beginning of Karate Kid 2, but he comes in.
Beginning of 2.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He's just, hoot!
Honk. That is the beginning of 2. Hey, you want to hear what JMS has to say about this this episode and some messages on this?
He's got it handed out to us, yeah.
He's got 2 things. One, about the moral ambiguity of what's going on here, particularly, I think, with the mind wipe situation.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something more. He says, or maybe just the moral ambiguity of this whole thing, the whole episode. He says, that's really the intent, to get people to talk about the issue raised and to examine the issue. What you and I are doing right now, Jeff, is why this episode exists.
Mission accomplished,
to
sir.
get us to do this. Good job, Joe. We won't tell you what to think about an issue because I don't have the answer myself. Oh, that's humility.
Right. That's good.
But if it made you stop and consider this stuff and decide for yourself where you fall in the discussion, then it's done its job. Probably a question to ask: where do you fall on this issue? Where is justice? And I think that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Where does revenge end and justice begin? When does justice tip over into revenge?
Yeah.
Those are 2 very different things. Justice can be served without revenge being dished. He also says this: as an atheist, I believe all life is unspeakably precious because it's only here for a brief moment, a flare against the dark, and then poof, gone forever. No afterlife, no second chances, no backseas. So there can be nothing crueler than the abuse, destruction, or wanton taking of a life. This spoken by a man who grew up in abuse.
Yeah.
It is a crime no less than burning the Mona Lisa. Imagine burning the Mona Lisa.
Right. Yeah.
Can never get that back. For there is always just one of each. I read that, Jeff, and it gave me pause.
Yeah.
And I've thought about this for the last couple of days because I did these a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about this on the Trek Profiles podcast.
Yeah.
I was able to go there. If you guys want to go check that out, I was episode number 100.
Yeah, you're
90. I was 99. I was the last one before he stopped.
Yep. Because you shut him down. He's like, I can't do this anymore.
I just can't get any better. No, he said, I can't get any better.
Top
That's
of
the Acme. That's the pinnacle right there. By the way, shout out to John, who had a big hand in helping us get through our first watch of this. Yeah. Same guy. Anyway, as a person of faith, I have the same preciousness towards life. Now, this is just me and my faith, okay? John 3:16, what does it say? For God so loved the world that he sent his only son. For God so loved people. For God so loved the world. Us, that read the word people.
Right.
In that he sent his only begotten son. People is God's number one priority. People was Jesus's number one priority. You read the stories about his life, how often people come to him and talk about money, or they talk about following the rules, or they talk about taxes, or they talk about government.
Right.
And he was always like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is people. What matters is people. What matters is people. My number one value is people, period. Because of my faith, that's my number one value. Because of my faith, the whole Star Trek, all life is precious thing. It is precious to me because of my faith. What I find interesting is JMS, because of his no faith, his faith, his atheist,
yeah.
Life is precious. I find that incredibly interesting, considering the origin of both of those places. In a place where JMS and I probably could get along swimmingly well on many of those issues, even though we come from 2 very different backgrounds.
I like that. I like that a lot. A lot to think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
People, life, holding it all sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that observation, though, because I think so often it becomes painted with the brush of faith. And through this, it's like, no, it transcends that. It's people are people.
Mm-hmm. And to go back to the original the question we've been asking, where does justice begin and revenge end and all that sort of stuff? I think a lot of times that has to do with your value of people and your do you value human life? Do you value all life? Where are you on that? Those people that were with Malcolm or whatever his name was before he got changed, they had a value that once they stood on the precipice, they said, no, we don't need to do it. He interpreted it as cowardness.
He did. Yep.
He did not have that same value of life.
It's interesting because it's, in a weird way, it's a strong move of courage to get to that point and say, yeah, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah. I'm better than this. I can rise above this. This isn't me.
Well, can you rise above your next responsibility, my friend? This week, it's on you to rank this one.
Yep.
We got our 3 right now. Day in the Strife, Matters of Honor, Convictions. Where?
There's no discussion, Jeff. This is our new number 1.
Good, because if you said anything else.
There's just no discussion. Yeah. This is such a great episode. Oh my gosh. Jeff, I'm really curious. Do you have pulled up where this episode landed on the final ranking of our first watch?
I do. Do you have a guess?
Gosh. There's so many good episodes in this season. There's the Severed Dreams trilogy, all 3 of those. There's the War Without End duology. There's Zaha Doom. Let's hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't imagine this being higher than 7 because of the importance of those episodes. So I'm going to guess somewhere between 7 and 10.
Okay. It's a good guess. It's number 9.
Spot on.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, when you look at what's above it, it's just like, oh yeah. Like, oh my God.
Well, but here's the difference. Okay. Those are the 8 episodes that would make the streamer season.
Exactly.
This is the best filler episode ever. It's the number 1 I'm assuming that there are other episodes that are unnecessary.
Yeah, probably.
the season, but still.
But yeah, number 1. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't disagree. So Brent, we're done. That's it for passing. We have passed through Gethsemane. We're moving on. Next week, this is an episode that really has stuck with the community and a lot of things. In fact, I think beyond even our community.
You mean the episode for next week?
The episode for next week.
Okay.
You had a new name for one of the characters, and that has stuck beyond even this community of listeners here, which I think is fantastic. We're watching, Brent, Voices of Authority. When we watched this for the first time, we played a game where we would guess what the episode was going to be about based on the title alone. Do you remember your prediction for this one?
Yeah, I said this one was going to be getting back to Earth. You remember when we saw that Senate lady hanging out with Morden?
Yeah.
Yeah, Earth is going to be sending orators to Sheridan, and he's not going to be okay with it, probably from that lady there. That's what I said.
Cool.
How about you?
I thought it was going to be a Londo episode. I thought we would kind of see the new Shadows Morden in crowd. Rifa, the Emperor, who we don't know the name of yet. Kind of checking Londo's
Cartagia,
ego.
You mean?
Yeah, it's Cartagia. We don't know that yet. So just the Emperor and Rifa. They're going to check Londo's ego, kind of bully him a little bit, remind him that he's just the ambassador to Babylon 5. Next week, though, we're going to watch the whole episode. We're going to meet Chicky. That's right. It's going to happen. So make sure you don't miss that. You can do that by subscribing wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. If you want to see the unedited versions of this, where we watch the whole thing, there's some fun stuff in this one where Brent actually went off camera for a little while and we went a whole different way. You're not going to see that on YouTube. You're not going to hear it on the audio stuff. You're only going to see that at our Patreon page, patreon.com/badnerds. There's a link down in the show notes you can follow, get access to a lot of stuff. If you're not in a position where you can financially get into that Patreon piece, that's totally cool. We love that you're here, and you can still help if you feel called to by sharing this show. Share it with somebody else who loves Babylon 5 and wants to watch it for the first time, for the second time. So with that, I'm going to wrap.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, what's up, man?
You know, you kind of paused when I started talking about that John 3:16 thing. Did you have any other thoughts on that? I'll give you a chance.
I mean, like, you talk about your faith. You talk about your John 3:16. You know what Austin 3:16 says?
Oh man, don't. Look, we all know what Austin 3:16 says.
Do you know what Akin 3:16 says?
Oh heavens. Oh, no, what's that?
Love yourself, forgive others, and prosper.
Indeed.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.